back to Court TV Live. I'm Michael Ayala.
And I'm Judge Ashley Wilcott. A big day in Massachusetts on day 4 of the Irish firefighter rape trial. The defendant, Terence Crosbie, has taken the stand in his own defense. Now, he's on trial for a second time for allegedly raping a woman at a Boston hotel where he was staying in March of last year. Crosbie is a firefighter. He was visiting from Ireland with his friend, Liam O'Brien.
The alleged victim told police that she met O'Brien at a restaurant and the two of them went to his hotel to have consensual sex. She said that she later fell asleep in the other bed in the room and woke up to find the defendant on top of her, raping her. Crosbie admits that he got into bed but said nothing happened, and the accuser got out of bed and left. Now, we're currently listening to testimony from Crosbie, who was testifying about why he was in Boston.
And we also want to remind you that we are under court order not to mention the accuser's name, so you may hear the audio drop out from time to time.
Please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Terence Crosbie.
And can you spell your last name for the record?
C-R-O-S-B-I-E.
And how old are you?
39.
And how tall are you?
6'1".
Where were you born?
Dublin, Ireland.
Where did you grow up?
Dublin, Ireland.
And being that we're here in the U.S. and you're from Ireland, is it fair to say that, at least from our perspective, you have an accent?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to speak slowly and clearly so that everyone can understand you, okay?
Okay.
All right, even if it's slower than usual, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Now, where do you reside?
In Dublin, Ireland.
And who do you live there with?
My wife and my 2 daughters.
And did you go to university?
In Dublin, yes.
And what did you study?
Sports science.
And what is your most recent employment?
I work for Dublin Fire Brigade.
And what do you do for the Dublin Fire Brigade?
I'm a firefighter paramedic.
How long have you been a paramedic?
10 years.
Does being a paramedic require any specialized training or education?
Yes, it's a course you do with the Royal College of Surgeons and pre-hospital emergency care, and you continue that every year, then there's upskilling.
And how long have you been a firefighter?
The same, 10 years.
And does being a firefighter require any specialized training or education?
Yes, it's 6 months full-time training and then continuing on-site training.
Are you assigned to a particular firehouse or brigade?
Yes, it's a Fisborough Fire Station. It's in Dublin City.
Okay. And do you ever travel with the brigade?
I didn't get the name.
It's Fisborough Fire Station in Dublin City.
Could you start calling me?
PH. IB. SB ORO.
Thank you.
Maybe if you can pull the microphone just a little bit closer to yourself and continue to speak slowly and clearly, please. Do you ever travel with the fire brigade for events?
No, this was my first trip.
Okay. And when you say this was your first trip, was that on March 14th of 2024?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And where did you and the Dublin Fire Brigade travel?
Yeah, we travelled from Dublin to Boston.
And what was the purpose of your travels?
To march in the parade on the Sunday.
And what parade was that?
The St. Patrick's Day parade.
And when did you arrive?
Mid-afternoon on the Thursday.
And was that Thursday, the 14th of March, 2024?
Yes, I think it was around the 3 p.m. mark.
Okay. Where were you staying while you were in Boston?
In the Omni Parker.
And when did you check into the Omni Parker?
It was close to 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Who, if anyone, were you staying with at the Omni Parker house?
I was staying with a roommate, Liam.
And what's Liam's last name?
Liam O'Brien.
And that's the Liam O'Brien we've heard mentioned in this case previously, right?
That's correct.
Okay, how long have you known Mr. O'Brien?
10 years.
Is Mr. O'Brien a friend of yours?
Yes.
Do you and your wives socialize outside of work as couples?
No, more work colleagues than
Just you and he socialize outside of work?
No.
Okay. So how did you end up sharing a room with Mr. O'Brien?
It was kind of by default. Somebody pulled out the trip and there was 10 of us instead of 11 of us, so just it was random. There was no reason that both of us ended up together. It was just random.
Okay. And what room were you and Mr. O'Brien assigned?
Room 610.
And after you checked in, did you go to room 610?
Yes.
Can you describe room 610 for the jury?
Yes, when you open the door, the bathroom was on your right hand side. Just beyond that, there's the first bed, which was mine. Beyond that, there's a second bed, and at the end of this room, there's a radiator below a window. Back up towards the bathroom, there's a mirror, and there's like a wardrobe closet facing the bathroom door.
Okay. What did you do once you arrived in room 610?
First thing I done was I hung up my dress uniform and went in and got cleaned up.
What do you mean by got cleaned up?
And went in, had a quick shower, and just changed my clothes.
And you said you had the first bed. Is that the one that's right after the bathroom as you walk into the room, or the one by the window?
No, the first bed on the right beside the bathroom.
And how did you and Mr. O'Brien decide who would have which bed?
There was no kind of way of this. I just was first man in. It was me. I just put my suitcase on the bed.
And so you had a suitcase, is that right?
Yes.
And inside that suitcase, did that include the items that were previously shown to this jury? Your clothing?
Yes.
I believe it was Exhibit 16. Where did you put that suitcase with your clothing inside of it?
It was at the opposite wall at the end of my bed, facing my bed.
And you said you hung your uniform in the closet. Did Mr. O'Brien also hang his uniform in that closet?
Yes.
Did he have a suitcase as well?
Yes.
Where did he put his suitcase?
It was down at the end of the room, close to his bed.
Okay. What did you do next after you showered and changed?
We met the rest of the lads downstairs in the lobby, and once we were all together then we went around to a bar called the Dubliner. It's around the corner from here.
Okay, and just backing up slightly, when you left the room to go down to the lobby, was your suitcase still next to your bed?
Yes, it was where I left it.
And was the bed still made?
Yes. My towel was on the bed and the stuff I had taken off from having my shower. I had clean clothes on.
Okay, and so you go down to the lobby and then you go to a bar. And I'm sorry, what was that bar called?
The Dubliner.
And who was there that you knew, if anyone?
The 10 of us that arrived together.
Okay, and what did you do while at the Dubliner?
We had food, had a drink.
Is there a time that you left the Dubliner?
Yes, I don't know exactly what time, but it was a little while later. We went around to a bar called Emmett's. It was a short walk away.
Who went to Emmett's bar?
8 of us went to Emmett's bar. 2 of the lads remained in the Dubliner.
Was Mr. O'Brien one of the gentlemen that went to Emmett's or that stayed at the Dubliner?
No, he came to Emmett's also.
What did you do at Emmett's bar?
Had another drink in Emmett's.
Did you go anywhere after Emmett's bar?
I did. There was a game on that evening in the TD Garden. The Celtics were playing the Detroit Pistons. I didn't know about the game until we went to Emmett's. We seen people in the basketball jerseys. So I struck up a conversation with 3 of them, and I ended up following them around to get a ticket. When I got to the TD Garden, the cheapest ticket was $620. So I don't like basketball that much. I declined, and I went back to Emmett's.
Okay. And did anyone from your party or that you knew go with you to the TD Garden?
No.
Did you walk there?
I walked there, yeah. I walked there with the 3 men with the basketball jerseys, but I walked back alone.
Okay. And so after you found out the tickets were too expensive, where did you go?
I went back to Emmett's, but when I got there, the lads I was with had moved on.
Did you know where they had went?
I didn't know. I used the Wi-Fi code I got from the barman. I texted him using a message app, and I followed them around to a bar they were in. The Beantown pub was another short distance away.
Okay. And when you got to the Beantown pub, who was there?
Everybody who was in Emmett's, besides me. They were down the back of the pub. They were playing pool with a couple of men they had met in the Navy.